You are not alone. You are just early. If you feel like no one is seeing you, no one is hearing you, no one is really understanding you, it's not because there's something wrong with you. It's not because you don't have any way to relate or connect to people. It's not because you don't have a worthy or valuable message to share, because I promise you that you do. It's simply because you are probably so highly creative and so innovative that you are just ahead of your time. Now, let me give you an example here. So, in case any of you are on Spidey TikTok, Heidi and Spencer, keeping up with what's happening in LA right now with the wildfires. If you know Heidi and Spencer, way back in the day, like 15 years ago, they were on The Hills, which was highly, highly popular. And in 2010, Heidi released an album, and unfortunately, it was a flop. Like, it didn't get really any kind of response. They dumped all of their money from The Hills into that album, and it didn't go anywhere. And then they kind of just drifted away. I don't want to say totally into obscurity, because I feel like there's always somebody out there who's going to be keeping up with them. But obviously, they were not on the covers of all the tabloid magazines and all that kind of stuff every single week anymore, like they were back then at that time. So anyways, fast forward to everything that's been happening in LA over the past week or so with the wildfires, and unfortunately they lost their house and so on and so forth. But the really cool thing is, even though that album came out 15 years ago, Heidi is #1 now on the iTunes chart. She is #1. Her music is being played everywhere. People are streaming it, they're buying it, so on and so forth. Now, me personally, I bought her album a long time ago because I was aware of it and I liked it, and so I've been listening to it for a long time. But anyways, yeah, so bottom line is, she was not appreciated in her time when that album first came out in 2010. Now is the time. 15 years later, they're starting to reap the rewards of that, but those rewards are coming to them obviously at a time where they need it the most, as they're trying to rebuild their lives and take care of their family and everything from the wildfires. So yeah, she was not appreciated in her time back then, but it took 15 years for that to finally really come to a place of manifestation, which I'm extremely happy for them with. But there's a point with this, of their story, that applies to you, to the person who's watching this. I myself have definitely struggled with getting my business up and going and being seen and being heard. Now, I know that what I have to bring to the world is of worth and of value. I definitely believe in myself. But sometimes it can be really hard to have your voice be heard in a very saturated market, and just in a space where everyone's very busy and has low attention spans, so on and so forth, right? It's hard to grab the attention of somebody and then just really keep it and build that connection. It takes time too. It takes an investment. It takes hard work. So I've been doing that a lot for myself, and it can be tiring at times. And there are a lot of times where I want to give up and I don't want to keep going, but I keep coming back, I keep creating, I keep posting, I keep doing what I'm doing. And in case you guys don't know, and you're coming across me for the very first time and you're like, who is this girl? What is it that she even does online? I do tarot readings, I make oracle decks, I'm into all the spiritual woo-woo kind of stuff is what it comes down to. I help with twin flame guidance, spirit baby connection, astrology, all of that fun and good stuff. So if those things interest you, then chances are I may be someone that you may want to hang out with in your little online world, wherever that may be. But anyways, I can get discouraged with my own stuff, obviously. So I was having a conversation with ChatGPT about that not too long ago. And I'm not going to read to you everything that ChatGPT said because it was very long, very extensive. And I don't recommend using ChatGPT as a substitute for therapy because I feel like real in-person therapy is very important as long as you have the right person. But there's definitely tips and inspiration that does kind of like help me out and carry me through in those moments where I may struggle. And I want to read to you something that ChatGPT said to me when it comes down to my stuff that may make sense for you and your journey if you are feeling that same similar thing where you're like, I have been, hustling, I've been grinding, I've been working hard for so long, like, when is this gonna happen? Like, when am I gonna see results? Like, what's happening here? What's wrong with me? Let me read to you what it said. Okay, a little itch there. You're not alone, you're just early. It's natural to assume others think like you, especially when you're so grounded in your values, but being ahead of the curve can feel lonely at times. The truth is, more people are waking up to the ideas you've already embraced. Your authenticity and persistence are paving the way, not just for yourself, but for others who will follow in your footsteps. Keep going. You're a part of a growing movement, even if it doesn't always feel that way. And I feel like that's so incredibly true. Like, one of the things I was talking to ChatGPT about is just how, I am not like a 9-to-5er. I never have been. Like, even long before it was cool to not be a 9-to-5er and be like, an independent contractor or a solopreneur or whatever the case may be. I was doing that long before that was a thing, without even knowing that that was even a thing. But anyways, I was kind of asking ChatGPT, like, why are people like so dedicated to that rather than other avenues? And a lot of that has to do with obviously security and safety, which I understand because I crave and desire those things too. But a lot of people are willing to sacrifice their freedoms and creativity for that, is what it comes down to. And of course, there's the pressure of societal expectations and that kind of thing. Now, me personally, I never really cared about societal pressure. I always kind of, beat or walk to the beat of my own drummer. I wasn't really concerned about needing to be like everybody else. Actually, I railed against it. But for some people, I understand, it's like sometimes you just want to blend in rather than stand out. So it can be scary to do that. But I do feel like there are more and more people who are willing to embrace their creativity and embrace taking those risks and realize that even like 9-to-5 traditional stuff, it doesn't guarantee you that safety and security like it did once upon a time. So it's like you might as well step out there and take the risk. So I do feel like more and more people are stepping into that. It's hard sometimes though when you are an early adopter of that because you are kind of carving that path on your own. So I know this video is long. Thank you for sticking with me on this. And I also know this Christmas tree is still up. It is actually not mine. It is my mom's. So she's just an early adopter to Christmas of 2025, I guess. Anyways, so thank you guys for hanging out here with me on this long video. I'm officially gonna wrap this up because I'm almost out of time now. But if you feel like no one's getting you and no one is understanding you, I promise you that people are, and you'll find your people, and that your time to shine, it is coming. It is coming. It may not be as early as you'd like it to be. It may come a little bit later than you think it's gonna happen, but it's gonna happen. So just hang in there a little bit longer. I promise. You're just a little bit early, but it's coming.